This video is sponsored by Miniswap. Alright you lot, welcome back. The Siege of Death Mire is at an end, and that means we've got a result, which we'll take a look at in a moment, but we've also got some boys to take a look at as well. The full fat kit has been revealed, we've got a bunch of lads to take a look at, so let's see how things shook out in the end, first of all, shall we? So, as they say, Siege of Death Mire ends. Who won? Well, about that. In week 3, there was 53.7% of battles going to the Orks, so that's a strong effort. That's a good effort. Frankly, all of you playing Orks, good work. Good job. Thank you for participating on my behalf, since I don't currently have an Ork army, but I was rooting for the Orks to win. That's pretty decent. It's not just the reported numbers, though, when it comes to the Warhammer store players. Again, Ork players putting the work in, doing a very good job. Given the previous results where the Imperials were doing pretty damn well, it means that we've got a draw. Which, to be honest, yes, it's not massively narratively satisfying in terms of, a proper conclusive end to this. I mean, it's still very 40k though, isn't it? Let's face it, the Imperium and the Orks constantly, always, non-stop, are warring with each other. It is a simple fact of life in that universe. I mean, of course, everyone's fighting everyone, but it feels like there is a rivalry there, so to speak, along with the rest of any Xenos species. But for some reason, for the Orks, it just feels slightly more, not pressing, but the nature of the Ork means that conflict has got a certain element to it which is lacking from the others. The fact that they, are having a blast, having a great time, absolutely loving it in the process, it just adds a little extra something to that side of things. So whilst it's not massively satisfying for the end result to be that they just carry on fighting, it kind of fits thematically, doesn't it? It's hardly not 40k, that result. So yes, we don't have a proper narrative conclusion, but it does mean that the Orks get to keep stomping Umis, which is pretty much all they want anyway. So in a way, I would suggest that the Orks still win. That's the takeaway, I think. If the Imperials got a full-on victory, then they would have won. But a victory for the Orks would be a victory for the Orks, and a draw for the Orks means they get to keep on fighting, which makes it another win for the Orks. So really, when we look at it like that, they still did the best, let's be honest. Now, of course, it's not just Death Mire that is constantly embroiled in war. You might find yourself constantly fighting your pile of potential as you add extra stuff to it, but then decide that there's stuff that you no longer need or want in said pile. What a segue. If you find yourself in that position, you need to check out Miniswap. You've heard about Miniswap plenty of times before on this channel. If anything, this is just a reminder that if you are looking to shift on any sprues, boxes, or indeed unpainted or even painted models that you no longer need or want, you can do that via Miniswap. Miniswap is an online marketplace built by hobbyists for hobbyists where you can buy and sell second-hand miniatures. And when I say second-hand, I mean all kinds of second-hand, whether it's new in box, new on sprue, partially or fully assembled, or you're just looking for bits for a kit-bashing project. Miniswap has an absolutely massive catalogue, and it's not just 40k, it's also Age of Sigmar, Lord of the Rings, Warhammer Fantasy, Horus Heresy, plus they also opened up the site to a bunch of stuff that are not Games Workshop. We're talking Atomic Mass games, Corvus, Bellite, Factory, Fortress, Cromlech, Warlord games, Steamforged games, you name it. If you're looking to shift on some of your pile of potential or add a few units to a new or existing project of yours, then you can join Miniswap using the link in the description and the pinned comment down below. When you join using my link, you will get 0% seller commission for the first 90 days and free shipping on your first order. Thank you very much to Miniswap for sponsoring this video. Let's take a look at some Orks, shall we? Alright, let's take a look at these lads then. These are the upcoming multi-part Ork Boyz, so the ones with all the options, all the stuff. They are, of course, going to be carrying sluggers and shooters, and the kit will also come with a big shooter, a rocket launcher, and a burner, which you can equip without the lads having to drop the choppers, which is very nice. I mean, straight away, that is a incredible big shooter, because the bayonet is simply some sort of almost axe head. It looks like the edge of an axe. I'm not going to say sword or dagger, because it's too blunt at the end. It's like an axe has just been sheared off partway down the head and then just welded on. I really love the look of that. It looks fantastic. I love all of the rounds actually properly on display just adds a little something. Just makes it look really, really fun. That is a good looking gun. I like that a lot. Also, the burner looks dead good as well. I mean, why am I talking like an orc? Dead good. The fact that you can see the big tanks on the back there, like that a lot. Very nice. We've got such an interesting mix as well, right? There is a very interesting mix of styles going on with these Ork Boyz. Now, to be fair, this is also present in the ones that are in the Armageddon box as well. But I don't know. I feel like I'd almost forgotten just how varied they are in terms of their design, because there is stuff in here from the more recent kits, for sure. The one that's been available for sale for roughly 20 years, like the plastic kit that has been the Ork Boyz plastic kit, like forever at this point. There are parts of these lads that match that, but there's also parts of these lads that match the more recently updated Ork Boyz kit. You know, the one where they did the stupid decision of having mixed weapons in there, but not enough to really make enough of anything, or at least too many of, I think your sluggers and choppers you got 6, and shooters you got 4, plus the fact that you then had to, you know, buy another box to make a full squad of 10, but then you'd have a couple left over, but then not enough of the shooters to... Look, it was garbage. It was bad. We said it was silly at the time, and it's silly now. They have rectified it with this lot, but I've got completely sidetracked there. What was I even saying? Yeah, so yeah, there are elements of that in these, but there's parts of these boys that go back well before the now sort of classic plastic kit that we've known for so long, right? There's stuff in here that is so incredibly similar to much older versions of boys. The faces, for instance, are a solid mix between the two when we look at them. So I would say, for my money, the lad there who's holding his shooter up in the air, whilst he's also got his slugger in the other hand, love that. Love the choice to do that. I would say that his face is very much in line with the ones that we've had for years and years. You know, that plastic kit that's been around forever. However, going back through, I would suggest that your middle lad here, that face is a bit more akin to what we saw in older orc sculpts, and it's especially obvious on this guy. So the guy with the shooter, with the pauldron over one shoulder there, you can see part of his stabber on his back. That face feels way more in line with the much older orc kits, and I really, really like it. I like the fact that they're mixing all of that together. You've got these different kind of eras of the army, and instead of just creating a new look or kind of just aping the one that is most recent, instead there's inspiration from all the stuff that came before that, along with that stuff. Like, I think it rounds them out a lot better. The thing is, whilst that classic plastic kit is good, even if their arses do stick out too much, which we have covered. That was its own video, I don't know how many years ago. What a stupid video that was. Even though their arses do stick out a bit too much for my liking personally, it was a decent kit. But I would argue that the variety in terms of faces is greater in this kit by quite a bit. And I think it's because they are deliberately pulling from a lot more in terms of older orc kits for inspiration. I think it just makes them look super well rounded. It gives each orc a little bit more personality because there is a bit more of that variety going on. I really, really like these. I think they look fantastic. Also, just a little thing, the different skin tones that they're doing for these, and they did it with the Armageddon box as well. You've got kind of a mix of the paler orcs, the more sort of like the zesty lime orcs, but then you've also got the much darker green skin on some as well. That, again, adds a huge amount of variety and makes them feel more rounded, more complete. The weapons look great. I mean, a lot of the weapons on these, you could be forgiven for thinking they'd just taken the old stuff and, you know, just stuck it on these. No real changes necessary. They're not identical, though. And there are little things on them that are fun details. So, for instance, looking at that guy who's got his axe-based chopper and his other chopper in the other hand, that axe-based chopper right there, that Unless it is the way that they have cut that picture out, having taken the picture, because these are all transparent, right? You can just copy and paste these into Photoshop, they'll have a transparent background. I don't think they've done this. They could have cut it out in such a way that the haft on the axe has just been snipped a little bit by accident. I don't think that's what they've done. I think instead, that just doesn't look like a very well-made weapon, which is fun and cool, and I really hope that that's what it is. The idea that it's a chopper made from a pipe and a hastily made axe head, I love that, and I think it's very, very fun. So I'm hoping that that is exactly what it currently looks like. Also, we've got a stick bomb there. That looks great. I really, really like them. Yeah, these are... they're solid. They're real solid. Also, the rocket launcher is great. You know what? The rocket launcher is one of the unsung heroes of the Orks overall. They are one of the wackier weapons that they just carry around day to day. The fact that you've got these various different, heads on the rockets, and you can have this really insane mix where no two rocket launchers seem to be shooting the same thing. I love it. It's never got old. It's always been fun. And I like that, once again, they're maintaining that. Now, I think potentially, when it comes to this box, obviously, the build options that we've got here won't be as rigid. At least shouldn't be as rigid. So when it comes to putting together a lad with 2 choppers, excellent. I can't wait to do that. Also, and this is one of the big things, holding a slugger and a shooter at the same time looks great. Overall, this is solid. This is a solid bunch of models. I really like them. And, yeah, oh God, I'm going to end up with quite a few of these. And I was already planning to do something with some Ork vehicles. I kind of want to do a Speed Freaks army again. But there's got to be some boys in there somewhere. It can't just be vehicles, even though that is something that I would try and do. I want these. I actually actively really want them. There's also other options for building the knob as well. That massive chopper, the big chopper, it looks great. The power claw. The power claw is magnificent. Can't get enough of it. Absolutely love it. And they've done the perfect mix. For me, the lad with the big metal jaw and the big claw, that is peak Ork right there for me personally. So there you go. I think the boys look fantastic. I love them. I want them. Good job, Games Workshop. You're really nailing it at the moment. I feel like I'm not necessarily being targeted personally with the latest wave of updates and, upgrades to various things, but managed to get me with the ogres. The ogres have been absolutely solid, and every time I see the new Ork stuff, it's like, oh yeah, you can make really cool Ork stuff. Yeah, this is good. Carry on. More would be good. So yeah, there you go. Let me know what you think of that lot in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things. Thank you very much to Miniswap for sponsoring the video. Again, check them out using the link in the description and the pinned comment. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you for the next one.